Welcome back to Fast Market here on the Schwab Network. It's time for cash tags. For that, let's bring in our next guest. That's going to be Andy Swan, co-founder at LikeFolio. Welcome back to the show, Andy.
Thank you.
All right, so we're talking Roku. I kind of wanted to hit this one because stock was trading $48 about 2 months ago, and now we're back up above $74 a share. It's had a good run, good bounce back from those lows. Do you guys have the data that's supporting this move?
Yeah, we do. I think Roku's in a good space, and if you're bullish on, digital ad spend and streaming, then you almost have to have Roku somewhere in your portfolio, or at least on a watch list. Yes, we're seeing, the spend shift towards streaming is still very much underway, and we think still has a very long way to go. 40% of all video viewing, television viewing was done via streaming. That was a record in history. And I think when you look at this ad spend separation, it doesn't line up to that yet. The advertisers have been slow to embrace streaming as a percentage of their budget. And I think clearly that's where the consumer is going. That's where the consumer eyeballs are. That's where the best targeting is. So those ad dollars naturally will have to continue to flow into streaming. And when we look at Roku specifically, their digital traffic has actually started to go positive on a year-over-year basis for the first time in quite a while. And I think that's probably a lot of what Wall Street's reacting to. There's a little bit of easing up or in the ad space, a little bit more money is coming into the space and going to Roku specifically. But, overall, I think Roku's partnership with the trade desk is opening up a lot of new opportunities for the company. The trade desk is ticker symbol TTD, by far our favorite stock in the streaming and advertising space. It's the backbone of all of these technologies, and Roku finally, really integrating with them gives them an advantage because now they can hyper target users in a way that they simply couldn't before and deliver a much higher ROI to advertisers. So Roku's on the right path. They're in the right space. It's just a really competitive landscape. I prefer the trade desk because they're the backbone of all the technologies, but I think Roku has nice upside from here.
Andy, in 2023, their management came out and said they were focusing on more efficiencies and reducing expenses. 2024, they come out with their statement saying we're back in the growth mode. They're looking at platform growth and they're looking at more innovation. They've got 80 million active accounts globally. That doesn't seem like a lot, which either tells me they're not successful or they have massive room to grow. It seems like a big number, but then you look at Netflix that has 277 million, and you realize, this company, if they do it right, has room to grow on the upside. So I understand what you're talking. I mean, obviously, growing their ad reach or growing their advertising means ad revenue, which means more money. I guess what I'm all breaking this down to, I still don't see them as profitable, but it looks like if you just eyeball the earnings events, they look like the losses are getting smaller. Do you think with your improved numbers that your metrics show, are they getting closer to profitability at all?
Yeah, I think they are. I think they also got away from, they were at one point, I can't remember how many years ago, but it kind of goes along with what you're saying. At one point, they were really committed to creating their own content in-house and becoming a content engine, competing with Netflix on that front and competing with HBO and Disney and all of that. And that really seemed to be a huge cash burn. So I think that they've focused now a little bit on the proper side of the business. I think that they're both sides of their business, the hardware and software, which is the ad business, both growing for the first time in a while. So I think they've figured out a little bit more who they are, getting back to their roots. And again, Roku's in a little bit of a difficult spot. You said 81 million users, and, of course, that's a lot for a company that started from nothing to go to 81 million is unbelievable. But now you're looking at where does the growth come from? Why aren't they at 280 million like Netflix, like you mentioned? And the truth is, it's because there's so much competition. There's on the hardware side, you can have an Amazon Fire Stick. There's several ways that this stuff is just built into the TV without Roku at all. So again, I have to reemphasize, if you're looking for the winner in the streaming ad space, it continues to be the Trade Desk, which is the engine behind all of this, TTD. If you're looking for the winner, on the hardware side and on that service side, then Roku could be in the mix, but they still have a lot to prove. There's some light at the end of the tunnel that we're starting to see, but that doesn't mean that they're gaining really extremely meaningful. So I think the balance in the stock is priced the stock about right, and we have to see where things go from here.
Yeah, and they did mention that partnership with the Trade Desk, allowing advertisers to better interpret and optimize ad campaigns. And TTD came out and said, we're not creating our own operating system for TVs. They're actually going to partner with them. That's good. But you look at average revenue per user, Andy, I think that's a big key metric. That kind of flatline. It's still over $40 per user of their 84 million subscribers at this point, but they're going into markets where they haven't been able to monetize yet. Is that the key number here? Because if you look at their growth as far as users, 30 billion streaming hours, that's up 20% year over year. So the more people that get on the platform is where that ARPU can start to grow, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, there's three things you have to look at. How many people are signing up to get onto their platform? How much are those users streaming? And then how much are advertisers bringing in for every streaming hour? And all three of those can go up, likely will go up. The one given is that more people will continue to stream, more advertising dollars will continue to flow into streaming networks. And the question is, how much of that market share can Roku defend or expand? And that question remains very much open at this time.
All right, great breakdown, great data. As always, Andy, appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right.